The Salesforce ExactTarget Marketing Cloud Journey Builder allows you to plan, personalize, and optimize your customer journeys. All from an interface that lets you easily build the most relevant campaigns, targeting each customer at just the right time. Start by selecting specific events like sign-up trials, new customers, and loyalty achievements. Set goals based on customer data to test and find which content delivers the highest ROI. Choose what channels to send messages, from email and push notifications to web and social placements, even reaching them through internet-ready devices like their car. Apply random splits to test the performance of different messages in different channels. Or assign engagement splits to connect with those who have responded differently from those who haven't. Then follow the progress in real time and adjust your campaign as needed along the way. Tracking every customer journey over time, measuring the overall effectiveness to better grow your company. Connect to customers like never before with the ExactTarget Marketing Cloud.
Please welcome to the stage Matt Fleckenstein.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Before we get started, let me just take a quick show of hands. How many people just sat through the opening product keynote? Awesome. So between that keynote and what you saw on day one, obviously we've spent a lot of time talking about Journey Builder. This session is really designed to focus exclusively on that product and drill into it a little bit more. And we're going to go through a demo. We're going to actually bring Home Shopping Network up on stage with us, and we'll look at how they're leveraging the power of one-to-one customer journeys. I'm pretty confident that every person who gets up on a stage like this, at an event like this, in front of so many incredible marketers, is excited to be here. But I can tell you that I am especially excited to be here today. It was about 2 years ago, almost to the day, that I stood on a stage like this with our now CEO, Scott McCorkle. At the time, I was a client of ExactTarget's working at Microsoft, helping them transition a $20 billion+ perpetual software business, Microsoft Office, into an online subscription business. And we went out looking for a tool and technology to help us engage our customers across every step of the journey, and didn't find one that really met our needs. And so we approached ExactTarget, and we said, hey, we've had a great relationship in terms of our email marketing capabilities, but what if we built some technology together to really manage one-to-one customer journeys? Now, here we are, 2 years later, and the entire theme of this conference is about the journey and how the journey is the reward. And so being part of that from the ground up and now getting a chance to stand here and talk more about this product is incredibly pleasing and exciting, and thank you all for coming today. It's interesting, the journey management topic is a very hot one right now. As we go out and talk to customers and prospects, everybody's focused on bringing all of their digital marketing channels together and orchestrating every touch point across the customer journey. And in fact, there's some recent research that's come out from Altimeter Group that points to the fact that 88% of companies surveyed indicated that their organization is going through some formal transformation that's designed to actually better let them engage customers at every point in that journey. And it's a formal transformation, literally reallocating major resources or reallocating budget to focus on customer journey management. And I love looking at this slide, and it's awesome that 88% of people are focused on this, but I never know who I feel worse for. The 10% of the population that is not going through some major change like this, or the 2% that doesn't know or doesn't care. What's really interesting, though, is if you look at the research that's coming out, it's not just, there's good reason why there's an intense focus on customer journey management. Some recent studies from McKinsey point to the fact that companies that are focused on customer journey transformation have 20% higher revenue growth. They've got 10 to 15% increases in customer satisfaction, and in fact, 15 to 20% lower cost to serve those customers. More revenue, more satisfied customers, lower cost to serve them. What's not to like about that model? As you've heard by now, at the heart of all of this for us at ExactTarget is Journey Builder. This is our customer journey management platform that let marketers plan, personalize, and optimize every interaction across the customer journey. We launched this product at Dreamforce last year, and got a lot of rave reviews. In fact, our CEO commented at the time on how people's jaws were dropping as they watched how we took a very visual approach to mapping out the customer journey. You heard a lot of fanfare around things such as journey mapping and the ability to kind of lay out the journey, manage every step of the journey, and words like game-changing kept coming up. But it wasn't just about a great launch. Over the last year, we've literally now got billions of transactions running through Journey Builder, processing billion of events. And Journey Builder has become the fastest growing product in the history of the ExactTarget Marketing Cloud. And some of that has to do with the fact that there's this growing trend toward customer journey management. But much of it has to do with all of you. Many of you in this room are current customers of Journey Builder, and a few of you in this room were actually some of the very first customers of Journey Builder that helped us get this off the ground. So for that, I want to say thank you, and thank you. Journey Builder is really centered on three key pillars. There's the planning pillar that lets a marketer chart and manage the entire customer journey, a personalization pillar to make sure that you're leveraging all of your cross-channel touches to deliver the most relevant message at the right point in time, and an optimize pillar that really lets you track and optimize goal performance so that you can make constant iterations and constant improvements. And we'll get to see this all demoed in just a few moments. For each one of these pillars, there's a specific component of the Journey Builder product that tries to actually help marketers address those opportunities. For planning, it comes down to journey maps. You've heard us talk a lot about this, how it really is a tool that's designed by marketers for marketers, enabling them to design and visualize the entire customer journey. You can divide the journey into stages or into relevant programs depending on your business, and you can map out every key interaction and every touch point for each of those stages and across the entire customer journey. A very visual tool that gives you immediate insight and visibility into what's happening across the entire customer journey. Any one of those touch points on that customer journey we refer to as a journey interaction. And journey interactions are really a series of things. As you saw for those of you who attended the last session, they involve trigger events. These are behavioral and contextual data events, in many cases real-time events, that actually can trigger somebody to qualify or get entered into a given interaction. In all of these cases, you can set a business goal, and once you set that business goal, the Journey Builder platform is constantly listening, constantly monitoring customers who are in that journey to see if they've accomplished that goal or not. So you always know who's accomplished the goal and who hasn't, and if the customer has accomplished the goal, we bump them out of that interaction so that we can immediately move them on to the next stage of the customer journey. And of course, there's the great cross-channel marketing capabilities that let you decide who gets what message at what point in time, leveraging all of the best-of-breed marketing applications from ExactTarget. And finally, it comes down to metrics. You've heard us talk today a lot about the importance of having real-time metrics at your hands. We actually think it's also important to have metrics that are available in the actual product in line with what you're using. So we actually provide a set of metrics in Journey Builder that let you actually monitor your overall goal performance overall and by individual version, so you can see how you're improving over time. But there's also, with a few easy clicks, the ability to create a brand new version of your interaction if it's not performing up to your desired expectations, or if you're close but not quite at your goal, it's very easy to kind of click a few buttons and add a new A, B, C, N test or run a multivariate test to try something different to engage your users and bump up your goal performance. And we'll see that in just a few moments. To bring Journey Builder to life, we're going to leverage kind of the Home Shopping Network brand. And many of you, if you're like myself, know Home Shopping Network mostly as the picture on the left side of this screen. Selling goods on television, reaching 95 million homes, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 364 days a year. Apparently, they actually don't sell goods on Christmas Day. Instead, they play holiday songs all day long. But actually, I've come to learn that HSN is much more than just that television experience. They're actually one of the largest e-commerce companies in the world, recognized as a top 10 e-commerce provider. And 15% of all of their sales are actually transacted through a mobile device. So they've very much and very quickly become one of the largest digital retailers in the world. Home Shopping Network has really embraced the notion of the customer journey. from the time you first watch one of their programs to the time you go in and browse their website, through to making that first purchase, a second purchase, ultimately becoming a loyal customer, and eventually even kind of being upsold or cross-sold and made into a loyal fan. Home Shopping Network has really embraced the customer journey. And so to actually bring this to life and show you how they think about leveraging the Marketing Cloud to embrace that customer journey, I'm going to have Clint Winkler, product marketer on the Journey Builder team, and Jeff Middlesworth, our product management leader for Journey Builder, come up on stage and actually run you through a quick demo.
Thank you, Matt. It is great to be here, and good morning, everyone. We have been sharing a lot of Journey Builder with all of you, and we're eager to share just a couple of layers deeper to show you how you can use Journey Builder today, and we're going to use Home Shopping Network as a piece of that. So what we have on screen is our Journey Builder dashboard. Now, as I learned, HSN has a bunch of amazing brands, and if all of them were using Journey Builder, it might look something like this on their dashboard. But we're only going to focus on HSN brand today. We have the Home Shopping Network's Journey Map, and as you can see, we've been working with this map for a little while. We've already created a few stages. We've created an acquisition stage. We've created an assimilate stage where we can deepen our relationship with our customer, and we have a green retention stage over on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, you can see a menu of all the things that we can add to our map. We can add more stages. We can add more interactions to those stages. And you can see we already have several interactions on our stage. You can stitch those interactions together and prioritize them and move customers along the journey as you would like. You can also put annotations on our map. This helps you show others the intended path, the optimal path that you'd like them to take along the journey. But you can also put stickers and badges and things that make it easier to look at your map at a glance to see what's going on. Today we're going to look at two interactions in this map and go a little bit deeper. Our first is an abandoned cart interaction. So let's go ahead and open that one up. Now, this is a blank interaction. We put this as a placeholder on our map, and I'd like to build this interaction with you from scratch. The thing that we start with is how do people get into this interaction? And we do that by selecting a trigger. As Matt said, a trigger represents customer behavior, and many times this behavior is driven by data, whether it's data that ExactTarget is capturing from the channels and sending emails, opens, and clicks, or it can be via integrations. And what we've done here is we've created an abandoned cart trigger, and we did that by integrating with a web analytics platform. So we'll go ahead and select that trigger. And the next step that we have is the ability to filter. We might not want all people that abandon a cart in our interaction, and in this case here, we only want people that have a value in their cart of $50 or greater. So we'll go ahead and set this filter. Okay, great. So we set how does someone get into this interaction. The next thing that we'd like to do is say, what's the goal? What do we want people to do while they're a part of this interaction? And we do that with triggers as well. So we're seeing the same screen we just saw. We've set up another trigger to represent when someone makes a purchase from this abandoned cart. That's what we'd like them to do. So we'll go ahead and select that. And the next step we'll do is we'll set a target for this interaction. It's kind of an estimation of how many people would we like to hit this goal. Because HSN are amazing marketers, we're going to set this target at 50%. I would love to hit 50%. So we're going to set that. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to set this option to say, when someone reaches this goal, I want to remove them from this interaction. This is super helpful when you have a drip campaign and you don't want that person to continue to get those messages after they reach the goal. So we'll set this setting here, and then we'll move the person on to the next stage in our journey. So great, we have set up how does someone get into an interaction. We've set up how we want someone to reach a goal. The next thing we're going to do is add messages to our interaction. So on the left-hand side, we can see a lot of activities that we can add to our canvas. Those activities are there because of apps that we have installed in our Marketing Cloud. So we've installed the email app so we can send email, and we've installed the Mobile Connect app so we can send text message and mobile push and push message and so forth and so on. We'll look at several of these as we go on. But we'll start with an email, and we'd like to send an email as soon as that shopping cart is abandoned. So Clint has drug a email activity onto the canvas, and now we're going to configure it. We've already done the creative over our email application, so we're just going to choose the email that we've already added. And the next step, we can add from name and subject line and all the great details that you can do with an email activity. Great, we've got our first activity. We're going to send an email. And then what we're going to do next is we want to follow up several days later if someone hasn't made that purchase. We want to do something slightly differently. We'd like to do something different for our high-value customers. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to add a decision activity. When we configure this decision activity, on the left-hand side, we're going to see all the values that we're tracking around our customers. And there's a specific value in the attribute in there that tracks lifetime value. And so what we'll say is we want high lifetime value customers here. We'll add a quick description just so that everyone knows what we're trying to do with this decision, and we'll click OK. And there we go. We have a decision on our canvas. Now, this decision has added 2 branches to our interaction. The top one is going to show us all our high-value customers. The bottom branch is going to give us everyone else. So Clint's going to add an email on each one of those branches. For the high-value customers, we're going to have a great incentive offer, and for the rest of the customers, another reminder. So as Clint's filling that out, what we would do next is we would test this interaction. We wouldn't take this live right away. We would test for content to make sure we picked the right content and our creative's correct. We would test the data, the things that's driving those triggers and what's driving that decision activity. And then we test the cadence. We want to make sure that we're getting those messages out in the timing that we were looking for. So we would test all of this. Once we're super comfortable with testing, then we would activate this interaction. And when we activate this interaction, it begins listening for that shopping cart trigger. And as soon as those happen, we'll start sending messages and moving them along in our customer journey. So there we go, our first interaction. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just save this interaction, Clint is, and we'll worry about doing our testing a little bit later. So let's go back to our journey map, and let's check out another interaction that we have. We're going to go into our middle stage there. We're going to look at an interaction where we're trying to drive people to make a second purchase. So let's go ahead and open up this one. Now this one looks a little different than the ones that we've shown in the past. This one looks different because it's running. It's an interaction that we set up several days ago. We set it up so that when someone makes their first purchase, they enter into this interaction, and our goal is for them to make a purchase a few days later. On the left-hand side, we can see that we already have quite a few people that have entered into our interaction, and that's great. And we can also see that people are meeting the goal as we go along. We're not quite hitting our target. That's what the orange means. So we'll look at how we're going to address that here in just a minute. On the right-hand side, we can see much more details about what's going on. We can see how people are moving through the interaction day by day. And on the bottom there, we can see some green numbers to show how are we reaching the goals over time. And we can make a correlation to those emails above and see which ones are performing well. We can look and see that on day 2 that we're not doing so hot. So let's see if we can make some optimizations there. What Clint's going to do is we're going to create a new draft off of this interaction. We're going to create a new version. And when we create this new version, we can modify and make changes to the interaction that we were just looking at. So now we're back into an edit mode, what we saw originally. And we can do anything we need to do here, like what we just did in the previous interaction. And don't worry, the first version that we had is still running. We're still listening for people to make their first purchase. People are entering in, and we're sending messages and measuring goals. So no hurry on trying to make these optimizations. That will always run. But let's see if we can make some changes to the one that we just looked at. On day 2, I'd like to add a few channels to see if we can mix in some mobile push and some text messaging to see if we can get a little bit more lift. I'm not quite sure which channel is going to work the best, so we're going to add a random split. We're going to do an 80-10-10 split, so we'll create 3 branches of our interaction. Great, now we see our 3. We're going to have the 80% go down and get the email just like we were having before. And Clint is adding a text message, and then we'll add a push message to each of the other branches that we've already set up. Now, just like before, we would test this and make sure everything's working great, and then we would activate this interaction just like we would the interaction before. The difference is that we're activating the second version of this interaction. So now all new people will enter into this version that we just activated, and the old version will not be listing and not accepting new customers into that version any longer. We'll continue to move people along in their journey and send the messages as we had previously, but now all new people will go into that interaction. So that is just a couple of great examples of how you can use Journey Builder today. We have a couple of sessions later this afternoon that's going to go even deeper, show you how you can use Journey Builder, and we would love to see you there. Thank you for your time, and back to you, Matt.
Thanks, Jeff. That's incredible. You know, we really wanted to take some time, kind of slow things down. You've seen a lot of kind of very quick demonstrations of Journey Builder in the prior sessions. We literally wanted to walk you step by step on how to set one of those up and how Home Shopping Network can think about leveraging Journey Builder to drive their specific business. One of the things that I hope you realized is just how easy it is once you have a journey up and running to create a new version of it and be constantly in this mode of testing and learning. And we see increasingly that marketing is moving very similar to kind of how agile software has moved, where it's less about big campaigns and it's more about launching something very quickly and then constant iteration, constant iteration, constant iteration on it. And Journey Builder makes it really easy to do that. To better understand how Home Shopping Network thinks about kind of digital marketing and engaging their customers across the one-to-one customer journey, I'd like to invite up to the stage Anne-Marie Frank. She's the VP of Omnichannel and Consumer Marketing for HSN. Anne-Marie? So Anne-Marie, you know, it's exciting to have you join us. You've been a longtime ET customer leveraging ExactTarget for our email capabilities. Tell us a little bit about how you got started using ExactTarget and what you guys have done over the last couple of years.
Yeah. So over the last 18 months to 2 years, HSN's really embarked on a whole transformation and trying to move to customer centricity. And so we completely overhauled all of our data. We had a lot of kind of siloed, fragmented data, and so brought that all together in a common repository that we now can see the 360 view of the customer. And then we knew that we had to also invest and kind of overhaul some of our anchor core digital marketing capabilities. So did a whole due diligence RFP, and we selected ExactTarget Marketing Cloud to send all of our outbound communications, all of our mobile, as well as our email communications.
That's great. You know, one of the challenges that we hear, actually we hear 2 common challenges for companies that want to embrace the customer journey. One of them is around kind of data and bringing all of their data together. And it sounds like that was something that you guys had to go through yourself. But the other one oftentimes is around kind of organizational structure. And many times companies have their individual channels set up in different silos so that they actually can run their programs independently, but now the trend is to bring them together. Can you talk a little bit about how you've organized your team and how you've actually managed to deal with the internal management change that's required to actually make that happen?
Yeah, so this is a favorite topic of mine. You know, I think the easy part is actually investing in the underlying capabilities and the technologies. The company realized that it's not just about the technology, that we fundamentally at the company had to shift the way that we were operating as a whole company. And so we've undergone a couple of big reorganizations at the company to really shift from a channel-centric way of structuring and how we do our business to center it more around a customer-centric model. So just over a year ago, my role changed from just being the VP of digital marketing to now being the VP of omni-channel consumer marketing. And so I inherited another team that was more analog. And then I had the digital, and we kind of converged the teams. And now we're actually organized based on the customer life cycle. So we start with prospecting and acquisition to what we call assimilation, which is really trying to get that new customer to repeat purchase within that first 90-day window, which is really critical for us because it drives that loyalty and stickiness for her, to then retaining and growing her profitability with her, to all the way if she falls out of the file and is a lapsed customer, how to re-engage her and get her back.
That's great. I know as we've been talking, and you just mentioned kind of one of your critical kind of moments of truth is getting that first-time purchaser to become a second-time purchaser. And you guys have really embraced the concept of leveraging the customer journey to do that. What's interesting is you guys had some, I think, unique techniques to go in and understand from your customers themselves what that customer journey looked like and how you might be able to influence it. Can you share a little bit about how you guys approached that and what you learned from it?
Yeah, so my goals changed in January of this year when I shifted to that omni-channel marketing view, and instead of just looking at kind of a last click, if you will, methodology and very performance-driven type approach, I still have to bring in those dollars, right? But now I'm also goaled on the customer file and the quality of the customer. And so we saw that in breaking down the life cycle, that critical point for us where we were falling short was we were doing really great at bringing new customers in, not so great at getting them to keep engaging with us and shopping. And that's a problem because you're spending millions of dollars on online acquisition. So we really focused on that 90-day window to really drive the loyalty. And we knew that we had to kind of dissect the journey of the customer, a new customer with us, and say, well, what is she experiencing? What are we delivering to her across all these different touch points? So we've done a lot of work at looking at the voice of the customer and doing qualitative and quantitative research and really asking her. So we actually commissioned a research company to go out and ask a set of new customers. They did not know it was HSN that was asking for this research, but we wanted to understand her shopping journey. So in looking at journeys, what's so interesting is we actually expanded this concept of journey mapping and looking at the journey and starting with our new customers who are out there shopping and asking her to document and kind of blind journal. And we did some interviews as well to say, well, what is your shopping journey? And we were trying to figure out where is HSN in her shopping journey? And then once we revealed that it was HSN and, hey, did you know we sell beauty and we sell home and you're out there shopping, how come you didn't come to HSN for that purchase? We then got into the next layer of kind of dissecting the journey at HSN and looking at how we can bolster and improve and close some gaps on that journey, especially for that 90-day window that was so critical for us.
That's great. I love that concept, journey map journaling. It's kind of a lot to say, but I think there's some real merit there. It's actually interesting because you mentioned it, and in the last keynote, Maggie from Kimpton also mentioned that to understand our customer journey, we simply went out and asked our customers. And it seems like that's a common theme, and yet so many companies don't do that. Thinking about kind of lessons learned and kind of guidance, you've got a room full of marketers, obviously many of them interested in kind of customer journey management. What advice would you offer to them? What guidance would you give them on how to get started with this whole thing?
Yeah, it's a real shift, I think. I think that the number one thing that I think for marketers, the bar has been raised. For all of us, I think that the skills around collaborating and forging relationships with others across the company where there's other touch points in that journey is so critical. And really shifting the mindset from your own internal kind of point of view in your department and looking at it more from a customer-centric view. It's a big change management shift. I think that as marketers, we have such a huge opportunity to kind of educate folks across our companies and break down silos and really bring people along and get them to understand why it makes a big difference to understand truly what is our experience that we're providing to our customers.
That's great. Thank you very much for joining us. Thanks for coming on stage. And thanks, of course, for being such a great customer.
Great. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you very much. So it's clear that HSN really is embracing the customer journey. I would encourage you to kind of reach out and talk with Anne-Marie. She's got some great knowledge, some great stories, some great experience that she's been able to share with us and actually help us to improve our products. If you're interested in learning more about Journey Builder, text Journeys to 56237. We'll send you tips and tricks. We'll send you upcoming product announcements and all kinds of information about both journey management as a broad topic, as well as our product Journey Builder. Again, as Jeff said, there's more breakout sessions that go deep into Journey Builder. We'd encourage you to check out the Journey Builder track, and feel free to actually come by for demos over into the campground. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate everyone coming, and please stick around for the remaining product sessions. I believe email is up next. Thank you very much, everybody.